welcome to Bard's Code School, where education should be free and everybody should work from home. I'm Bard. You can also call me Hannah. Most of you probably will. I've been a software engineer for, nearly 9 years, and I've worked in all kinds of companies, businesses, and in different industries. I did go to school for a few years, but sometimes that formal education just isn't for everybody. So I thought, what better way to learn than through a free platform with your friends? So that's what we're doing here. So just a couple of things we're going to go over. First of all, just want to say that programming will absolutely rewire your brain the way you think for the rest of your life. Once you learn to program, you'll never think the same way again. It can start out easy, and then sometimes it's the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. Programming is known for its many ups and downs. One moment you're on top of the world, I'm the smartest person that's ever lived. The second moment you think, man, I'm an idiot. What programming does take a lot of, though, is perseverance. This will not be easy, but I can promise you it'll be worth it. So some of the things you can expect as we go through and learn. We're going to go over the different specializations that you can get into. I highly recommend learning a little bit of everything, and you'll need to. You'll need to know a little bit of everything. But once you get to a certain point, you might want to dive into a specialization, and we're going to go ahead and just go over what all that you can kind of aim for and put your focus on. On that same vein, we're also going to be going over kind of the building blocks and the connections of software, what makes software work. There are a lot of different areas. It's not just sitting writing C#. Development has a lot to it, and it's not all code. So we'll be going over some of that as well. We'll also be going over the most common programming languages and what they're most commonly used for, and what's popular, what pays the best. Some of the languages that we'll be learning is we're going to start with C# in Windows Forms, and then we'll be moving on to a little bit of SQL using SQL Server. And then once we get done with that, we're going to move into some web development, and that's going to include HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It's likely we can pair all that together. At its base, a web application is going to include HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C# or some other object-oriented backend language, and SQL Server. So the first project we're going to work on is going to be our Hello World project. It is every developer's first project. It's a rite of passage. It's basically when we get our first words to appear on the screen. We're going to say Hello World of programming, and it's a great moment. It's every programmer's first project. After we finish that, we're going to move on to a car inventory management system. This will be very interesting. We're going to use this with C# and Windows Forms. We're going to go over a little bit of object-oriented programming, which will be useful as we go on. After we finish that project, we're going to be adding in a SQL backend. Now, SQL will help us save our data so that when we close our application and we open back up, our data will still be there. Then we'll be moving into web development, which is what I spoke on earlier with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will also have several guest speakers, two of which are already in our Discord. You might see them. It's Dr. Code and Hobo, both very smart individuals, wonderful programmers. They've been programming longer than I have been. Absolute geniuses. So when we get to some of the tougher areas, I think it's going to be helpful to have them walk us through some of the things that they work on more day to day. From there, we're all just going to keep learning, and it is my deepest desire to help each and every one of you to find your first job in the industry, working from home with free education. So again, I just want to thank you guys all for being here and being willing to learn. I really truly believe that this is going to help change your life for the better, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Right here is our Bard's Code School Discord. You'll notice we have text channels, skill sets, and languages. I'm going to start here on this first part. As you can see, this is where we're all jumping in. Feel free to wave, say hi to everybody here. I will be making announcements in this channel. This is the announcement channel. So any important things will be posted here. Just be sure to check this channel often, and if you have a notification here, just give it a look. Next we have our 2 voice channels. This is general. You can jump in here if you're working and just want to hang around people who are also learning and working. You just click on it and it'll throw you in. Make sure you have a mic and some kind of speaker to listen through. And you can get in here and have conversations with other people in the Discord. Our work sesh chat, this is where I will be when I am teaching. I will have my screen shared. I recommend that you do the same. The way you do that is just clicking on the channel, going down here to share your screen, and then from here you can click on whichever screen you'd like to share. And that will be helpful so I can see what you're doing, and if you have any questions, you won't have to just tell me about it or send me a screenshot. I can actively see what's going on. Visual Studio here, this message will show you how to walk through and download it. So go ahead and just click on this link. This will take you to the downloads page for Microsoft Visual Studio 2022. There are some other versions of this if you want to pay for it, if you feel like paying for it. It's got some pretty good stuff. I've done a lot of what I need to be able to do just with Community, so I just suggest getting this free download here for Community. So whenever this gets finished downloading, go ahead and open it up. Continue. There aren't too many surprises, just kind of let it do what it suggests. Just continue, install, whatever it asks of you. Alright, so that's finished downloading. Just follow the prompts. For now, just update, and then it'll start downloading. Great, it's downloaded and installed. Next, we're going to hit this modify button so we can determine what packages we are having included in our version of Visual Studio. Visual Studio is going to try and add a lot here that we don't really care about right now, and it takes a lot of space. So we're going to trim it down and just get what we need. If we get to a point where we want to start a new type of project, we can always come back to the screen and add in what we're missing. So just for now, we're going to uncheck everything. Just so we can start from scratch. Great. So we need 2 things from this list right now. First, we need this ASP.NET and web development. We will use this to build websites, web applications, using several different languages that we will cover. The second thing we need is this .NET desktop development. This will help us build our Windows forms and our very first application together. Once those 2 are checked, make sure everything else is unchecked, and hit modify. Once that's done, we are ready to launch Visual Studio Community 2022. Go ahead and click launch. Mine opened on my other screen, so I'm going to move it over. Alright, so this has a few of the projects I've been working in because I've had this installed before. This is basically all you need to begin in our first class. Once you get here, congratulations, you're ready to go. You can go ahead and close all that, and you're done. So that's everything. I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. Remember, we'll be going over this very slowly, piece by piece. I have really high hopes for this. I know each and every one of you are very smart and talented individuals, and I really look forward to seeing what all you can accomplish. So thanks everyone, and let's learn to code.